Start this video, I would like to tell you I have brain injury. I also don't have a very high IQ level. I also suffer from dyslexia. But one thing I do know is that no Jews, no news. Why do people constantly hate on one population of Jewish people, but react to one apparent Palestine? There was no Palestine. Why aren't people talking about the Yazidi women that got taken from their homes, raped, husbands shot in the head, children taken away and sold in markets in Gaza, by the way? But no Jews, no news. Very sad. We had an attack in London yesterday, almost fatally killing another Jewish man and injuring a further two. I just cannot understand this. What about Africa and what's happening over there? Genocide is what's happening in Africa. And if you want to go furthermore, the Muslims that push this propaganda, why don't they mention China? Nobody mentions China and all the camps that the Muslims are sitting in, having to learn Chinese and get rid of their roots. Again, Japan, Islam is taught to be a mental illness. Nobody talks about that. All people want to do is demonize the Jewish for what has happened in Gaza. Let me give you an a drama. United Kingdom we live in, yes? Imagine if Ireland, a bunch of terrorists came over in boats, took our children, put them in ovens, slit women's throats, raped them, and done everything that happened on October the 7th. How do you think we would react? But because no Jews, no news, I think people actually sad because the Jews are just very, very good people. They're very good at what they do. They've made a great contribution to the whole of the world. Let us ask you one thing. You know the phone you're holding in your hand, or the laptop you're playing on, or whatever device? Well, a Jewish person has had their hands on parts of that computer, so why don't you throw that in the bin? It's just crazy. Everybody zooms in when it's all about the Jewish. What's happening in Iran? You can either be on the right side of history or the wrong side of history. That Ayatollah was no better than that Nazi regime that Hitler ran, killing over 6 million Jews. Yet people in Pakistan look at him as a hero. When I was at school, you had to learn about the Second World War. And believe me, if you did, you would find out how bad it really was. Now I see time repeating itself. People don't do their research, they just go and look in the local media which pushes the narrative. It's very sad. I love Jews. I actually love Muslims. I went to school with them. I love all faiths, but extremism has to stop. I just can't believe it that we've got to this point. Europe is turning into another Germany in the 1940s. People have got to wake up, and if they don't wake up, I just dread to see what is going to happen. What are you going to do? Can everybody move to Israel? I don't think so. Wake up, guys, and start doing your research. Forget about Greta Thunberg and her flotilla and whatever narrative she's pushing. It is all lies. Gaza has not been completely flattened. It still has huge food halls. They have all the food they need. In fact, in some places, it is quite beautiful. My Lord, all I can ask for is peace. But as days go by, I see that peace declining. The IRCG have been legitimised in our country, the United Kingdom, and our poor government won't do what every other country has done and ban them. So now we are on a high risk of terror level, where we have armed police in basically every major city. This is very bad, very bad. So what's going to happen from now on? Well, that's up to whoever's listening to this video and whatever narrative you want to push. One thing I do know is that the Jews will always be successful. And for any Christian who's pushing the narrative that the Jews are the genocidal whatevers, remember, your God was Jewish, Jesus Christ. Every day I pray to him that this will not continue. Why do you think Iran has had their internet turned off for over 3 months now? I tell you why, because they're massacring their own people. But nobody cares about that, do they? No, you will just do your silly Al-Quds march in London while our pathetic government allows you to do so. Everybody rise up and attend London on the 14th of May. God bless every faith. We need to come together and make peace. We need to kill hate. Hate comes from within. Trust in your heart. Do not listen to the narrative. Be your own person. Please. God bless to all.